Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the online Welcome to Kindergarten. My name is Neil Maidment and I am the Deputy Head of Primary here. Alongside me are my colleagues, Miss Garima, Miss Iram and Miss Jyoti, who will be running through with you the start to what's been a really fantastic, busy term already, and just for you to find out a bit about what goes on in the classrooms and how the children will learn and how they do learn. Okay, Miss Iram, over to you, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Miss Iram and I am the curriculum lead for pre-KG, KG1 and KG2. I'll let everybody else introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session today. You know me, right? I'm Miss Jyoti Gupta. I'm leading pre-KG and KG1, and it's so much fun, and it's my pleasure to meet you every day. And children are well settled. Thank you. Over to you, Garima.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Garima Mehta. I'm KG2 team leader. Thank you so much for having us here together and looking forward for the wonderful event today. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to just go through our PowerPoint and just go through what we do at WSF in our kindergarten. And if you have any questions, we can take them at the end. So this is our team. So you know Miss Julie, she's the head of our primary, and our deputy head, Mr. Neil, who you just met, and of course our assistant head is Miss Rivka, myself, the curriculum lead. We've got Jyoti, who's our year leader. And on the other side, we've got our team. So you may have met Miss Pamela, Miss Ella, Miss Kristen, Miss Jumna, Miss Florence, Miss Preeti, and Miss Tanisha, sorry. So that's our team that we have in KG1 and pre-KG. We have a very busy timetable for our lovely little learners that come in. So in the morning, of course, the school start day is 7:40 and the end day for all pupils is 11:40. On a Friday, of course, we break up at 10:30, so a little bit earlier. And what I have on here is your timetable. So every time a child comes into the classroom, we have an activity in the morning called Busy Fingers. And this is actually to develop their fine motor skills and get them ready for writing and mark making throughout the day, and just to strengthen the fingers throughout the day and ready to do things when they're going to KG2, 3, and so on. Sorry, not KG2, grade 1, grade 2. Grade 3. So it's a really important part of the morning for the children to be there and to take part of this activity as it gets them ready for the whole day. After that, they obviously have their registration where they self-register and they have their wake and shake. Then they have phonics every single day. So it's really important your child attends school Monday to Friday every day, where in pre-KG currently they're listening to environmental sounds, and in KG1 they're identifying the first sounds of SAPIN. So it's super important that your child's in school every day. And of course, they have a little break, so a little playtime. Then we have our guided reading session, which is where we use books and we get the children to identify where the front cover is and the back cover is, and so on. Then they'll have another little break where they'll eat their lunch. Is that right?
Yeah.
Have their lunch, and I have a literacy lessons twice a week and maths lessons, and we have something called child initiated learning, which I'll go through a bit deeper in the next slide. And we like to end the day with a class story before they go home at 11:40. So we get the children together and we read a story. So that just is what our day will look like. It's a very good routine for the children. It stays the same all the time, and every activity we have in the day has a purpose, and it goes through the 7 areas of learning, which I'll go through now. We also have something called rolling snack, and we are aware that some of our children do come on the bus as well, and they come into school quite hungry. So children can have a snack at any time when they come in from 7:40 through to 11:40 at our snack table. And we call it rolling snack because it can happen whenever it happens. The only thing we would ask from parents is for you to provide just a healthy snack, something like a fruit or vegetable for them to eat and enjoy. We are avoiding any biscuits or crisps or chocolates or anything like that. So that way we can monitor what's there in the rolling snack. Is there anything you want to add to the timetable?
No.
No, that's all. Okay, so that's just what the daily routine looks like. So we follow the curriculum called the Early Years curriculum, which is obviously from the British curriculum. And the early years framework is something we use at WSF for pre-KG and KG1. And this focuses on 7 areas. And before we look at all the areas, there are prime areas which are the most important, which thread into all the other areas anyway. So we look at communication and language, so developing pupils' listening skills, their attention, their understanding, getting them to talk to us and explain to us what they're doing and their process. Of course, their physical development, which I spoke about very slightly at the beginning with the busy fingers, developing their fine motor skills, and obviously the gross motor skills through running, jumping, riding a bicycle, all those things. Okay. And we also have PSED, which is development of their personal, social, emotional development. Now, this is really, really important throughout children's life at school and throughout their journey. So it's really important in the early years for us to get those foundations perfect. So we like to work together with parents to help children to self-regulate. So being able to regulate their emotion from being really upset and thinking about strategies of what they can do to make themselves feel better, and managing themselves. So just toileting, getting themselves dressed in the morning, putting their socks on, their shoes on. So all these small little things that they do. And of course, building relationships, which is very, very big. So we focus on a lot of building relationships, turn taking. Was there anything you want to add to PSED?
A good connection between the children and the adults,
Yeah.
and they are playing together, learning sharing skills and taking turns, and they know, and they are also learning about their failures, like not exactly the failures, but like if they are not getting the toy first, so they are learning sharing.
Yeah, that's a very big thing that we look at, because it's when they're so young, there's so many things that we have to look at to help them and support them to move on to the next step. So sharing and taking, we call it taking turns, and finding strategies to do that. So if a particular child is playing with a particular toy and another child wants to play, we'll give a little timer, 5 minutes for that child to play, and then the next child can have their turn. So those are the prime areas, and these prime areas thread in to the remaining areas. Okay, so of course we do literacy, where we're focusing a lot on word reading, like phonics. So thinking about the initial sounds that they're learning, then with those sounds, they need to blend those sounds together to be able to read the word. And the foundations start in early years. And then, of course, in maths, we look at number work. We look at also the patterns that they can create through numbers and objects, colours and shapes. And of course, understanding of the world. So understanding what's around them, what's in the UAE, comparing it to other countries as well, understanding different people, cultures. In WSF, we have a range of cultures here, and it's a very diverse school. So this is super important for us to get right. And the natural world itself. So looking at the natural world and what we can do to develop it. And of course, expressive arts and designs, creating with materials, being imaginative, and being able to build something. And what we're trying to do is, with expressive arts and design, we allow them to take the front ownership of it. So what they do is they create what they want to make, and then we have those discussions with them and ask them, what have you created? What is it? And they talk through that process. Okay. So these are the main 7 of areas of learning which we use to assess our children and to help them develop in their learning. Okay. Here's some examples that we have put together, and I'll let Miss Jyoti explain through the examples. So what she's done is she's linked each picture to an area of learning. Sometimes it goes into 2 areas of learning, but I'll let you talk it through.
So the first picture shows like PSED, that is personal, social, emotional, and development. These kids are working together. They know that we need to share here. So they are learning to share, and they are also building their fine motors, and they are mark making. No matter it's a circle, but there is a meaning. They say it's me, or it's my daddy or mom. And the second picture reflects literacy, like word reading. And this is the picture from pre-KG, the latest picture. And the little boy named Prime, he knows that the print has meaning. So he's able to connect with the shapes and all, and he's able to develop his communication skills as well. The third picture shows physical development, where kids, they are working collaboratively, and they're working on their tripod grip. And the picture just beside that, you can see it's a morning busy fingers. In the morning, they come and they do such activities like threading and beading. So they are building their physical development, that is fine motors. And the picture down, math, Here they are learning to identify and represent numbers 1 to 5, where they are able to identify the numbers and they're building their math skills. They are able to represent with the help of those sticks, and they can represent them. Another picture shows expressive art and design, where they are making some hard and soft music. They are also singing songs over there. So, and they're working together. The picture, last picture, it is like understanding of the world, where we take the kids. The first picture is for the, like, it's like when we went to the trip last year, we went to the zoo, and children were able to connect with the like world outside. They're talking about the animals there, the night animals. And in the school, the last picture is about the school, where we take the children in the indoor garden. They are able to use their sense organs to touch, to smell, to see, and in this way they begin to understand the need to respect and care for the natural environment and all living things.
You may notice that a lot of these pictures of children are learning actively, so it's all hands-on activities, and they all have a purpose behind them. Every picture is showing you a skill that each child is developing, and that's our aim. And what we do is whatever we set up in our classroom, it's based on our children's interest. So if a child, for example, shows us interest into space, we'll build an environment for them to develop that interest into space. So what we'll do is we'll develop a space area which has the planets, but also writing opportunities, number opportunities, lots of different things that they can do, developing the 7 areas of learning. I think there's some lovely pictures.
Yes.
And are you going on a trip this year?
Yes,
Which is exciting.
we are going in the third term.
So like I said, active learning, so it's all hands-on at WSF, so children have hands-on opportunities to do their learning. It's super important, and it's very unstructured play opportunities are inside as well as structured. So we have some lessons. So for example, if Miss Jyoti is teaching phonics, she'll teach phonics on the carpet to all the children, and then the children will go off and do their learning through play. And Miss Jyoti will sit at one table and bring groups over in small group at a time and go through that phonics learning. So your child will have an adult-led activity all the time for phonics and maths with their class teacher, whoever it may be. Okay, and the importance of that is they've had their input in the classroom, but we need to make sure they've understood what's been taught in the classroom in small groups. And with smaller groups, it's easy to see where they're at with their learning. So then we can track where they're at, and then we can support them to deepen their learning in their whichever area it is that they need deepening. And throughout active learning, we would be doing observations and observing them, taking pictures. Of course, we need all your permissions to be able to upload these pictures and show them to you. So it's super important to get that permission done for us. And what we do is when we're observing them, we're going back to the 7 areas of learning. We're looking at the skills that they're developing, and we're following those, we call it learning ladders, following the learning ladders and seeing if they're achieving that goal that they need to achieve at the end of each term. So it's whatever we are setting for the pupils, it's all based on the skills from the early learning goals, the framework, which then links into the learning ladders, which the teachers will use for the observations. Okay. Assessment. So going on to assessment, teachers and teaching assistants are responsible for assessments in pre-KG and KG1. It's obviously ongoing throughout the day. Teachers are doing formal and informal assessments, watching what the children are doing through play, interacting with them, letting the children lead in the play, and obviously challenging them and enhancing their learning where they can. For example, if a child is building blocks to 5, the adult might ask them, which number comes first, which number comes next? Just deepen that understanding before we go to numbers to 10. It's really important an area of learning is secure before we move them on to the next part. Okay, and that's the amazing and most beautiful thing about early years is the interaction that takes place between pupils and with pupils and adults, and what we can do to enhance it throughout the day. So what we are also doing, of course, I mentioned before, is the adult focused activities, which is led by the adults throughout the day. So how many adult-led activities do they have in a day? Is it 1 or 2?
We have at least 3.
Amazing. There's 3 adult-led activities throughout the day.
Yeah.
So that's really good. So they will have that contact time at all times at least with the teacher or the TA throughout the day to enhance their learning. We of course do the observations, which hopefully we will get loaded onto learning ladders, which you'll be able to see, and it will include things like recordings of your child.
Yeah.
So doing an activity, if they're doing any sort of phonics work or a bit of reading, we can record it and then we can share that with yourselves, and you can see exactly where they are in their phonics learning. And then of course you can ask questions to your class teacher and your the TA about what they're doing and what you can do at home to enhance their learning, because working together is super important at this point, as the foundations need to be strong for them to develop it when they go into grade 1 and above. And of course, we have our parents and teachers as partners, which is the most important thing. Would you like to talk about this?
Yeah. So at WSF, as you know, family is first. Family first. It's the main thing, and well-being of the students and parents. Like we do our best for them. So some parents who were last year here, they know that we have a strong relationship between teachers and parents. We were having mystery reader in pre-KG last year. We also had parents at the classroom event, and very soon this year we are going to start for KG1 as well. 3rd of October is the first Thursday when we are going to start for our mystery reader, and it will be great fun where every Thursday parent is coming in the classroom and they're reading book for your child and for other children. So, but don't forget that it should be a surprise for your child as well. Don't open that I'm going to come to your class tomorrow. So, and even we will be having art festival on 10th of October, and waiting for you to come and just collaborate in the child's learning and other activities in the school. Thank you so much.
Perfect. And we actually had quite a visit recently from the secondary pupils.
Yes. And I posted some pictures on Class Dojo, and also on Insta, you can see those pictures where Mr. Yusuf, who is the assistant secondary head, and he came with two students of 12th grade, and they came and literally they were so they were so excited to come, and they were surprised that children in this age, 3 years, and they learned so much. And they were connecting the math concept with the pre-KG kids, and they were just solving the IGCSE math and it was fun, really.
You'll also notice when you come into the classroom, the environments will look different every single week, because it's all based on the children's interest and enhancing their learning. But when the teachers and TAs are setting up those environments, they're thinking about, okay, what can I do to develop their writing? What can I do to develop their reading? What can I do to develop their maths? How can we develop their communication language skills? So every activity is based on the skill that they need to develop. Okay. We would love to hopefully get parents signed up for the workshop.
Yeah.
And when are you sending that information out to parents? For Thursdays?
Yes, we are going to send it soon, maybe this week, with the newsletter for the mystery reader.
Amazing.
Yes.
I would love to come and see that.
Yes.
It's really good. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that answers many of your questions about what we do in KG1 and pre-KG. And over to you, Mr. Neil.
Neil,